This video contains content that may not be suitable for all viewers. Viewers' discretion is advised. When they didn't bring charges upon the cops for the murder of Breonna Taylor, it should not have been a surprise. We knew that this was going to happen. We've been down this road before. And the main reason why we never win in these type of cases is because we don't have anything on the table that will persuade them to want to give us justice. We don't have anything. They don't fear us. That's the reason they don't have any fear when it comes to making these type of rulings. They don't mind losing a few businesses here and there, being burnt down from people being angry, but they know one thing. Black people are not going to do nothing but get angry. And that's the problem. They don't have anything to fear. If they don't give us justice, what? What y'all gonna do about it? Nothing. And people thinking that begging and pleading and praying, that's not gonna do any good. What about the Africans and what about our ancestors that were born into slavery? Did they have sympathy on them? What about the people that were in slavery? Did they have sympathy on them? What about the people after slavery? Did they have sympathy on them? What about the people in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and now here in the 2000s? The same thing is going on. We are following the blueprints of our forefathers, and that is a losing plan. They didn't win with it, and we are not winning with it. What people fail to, well, they don't want to say is that, hey man, there has to be a clash. That's the only way black people are going to get out of this situation, is there has to be a clash. They don't fear us. What do they have to fear? Why should they want to give black people rights and equal rights and power? Why would they? You're not demanding it like other people do. You want to sit back and protest and beg. And like I say, since when have they ever listened to our cries? Black people have been crying since we've been brought into slavery. And those are the ancestors of those people, and they don't care. And while we are still using this blueprint of begging is just beyond me. You know, black people are praying that we will come up out of this. But that just goes to show how ignorant black people are, is that these white people that are in power, they are praying to our gods. Maybe that's why they're in power. And what did we turn around and do? We bow down and pray to their gods. And what have we ever received since we have been praying to their gods? That is not our God. That is a God that has been presented to us by them, that they don't even bow down to, that they don't even listen to. As I say, man, we just refuse to address this in an intelligent way. And the only way that black people will get justice is we got to fight for it. As you see, begging, protesting, asking, hey, that won't get it. And like I say, man, I noticed that when they gave that family the 12 million, I knew then that there was not going to be any justice. Whoever heard of giving the money first and then making a ruling against the person later? It don't happen like that. Usually the person gets convicted first, and then later on there's some type of payout. So when you accepted money like that, you know, I just knew that that was not going to be anything good for us. And as I say, man, we don't put anything on the table so far as, hey, we're going to get some justice or else. Now, whatever that or else will be, we need to put an or else on the table that will strike fear into a person, that will make them want to hear you out. You can say what you want about all of the burnings that were taking place after the George Floyd murder. One thing I do know is that it got somebody's attention. Somebody started listening. Somebody wanted to create some type of dialogue, but look what it took to get it. We've been asking for the same things, like I say, since we've been here. And it seems that every time black people are ready to rise up is when they are ready to listen. But we keep falling for the same thing every time. An alternative. We're not going to give you this, but we're going to give you that. And we need to stop falling for the alternatives. We don't want the cops to get spanks on the wrist. We want their ass to do time and possibly be executed. What good is that money going to do the family every holiday, every birthday, every song that you hear that reminds you of that person? You have to go through this day, this dreadful day, the day that you lost Breonna Taylor. And this is forever. And those cops who don't care about taking lives go to live on with their lives. And then to put a harder slap in the face, you have other white people who are going to take up GoFundMe accounts for these cops to make sure that they live comfortably. You see what I'm saying? And as I say, man, we need to stop allowing this to happen. We need to stop allowing people like Al Sharp and these other guys who don't bring justice to run amok and just create havoc for the lives of the regular black people. All these people are doing is creating havoc for our lives. And I don't understand why these people would do that, man. I can understand if they want to get in order to help black people. Once they get in, it's all about helping themselves. And just because there's a black police officer, a black judge, a black prosecutor, a black attorney general, that doesn't mean nothing. Because they are not going to let anyone have that position who is going to go against them and what they say and how they feel. Have you noticed that every black person that works for them speaks like them? I was listening to this interview that they had this morning with Gail, which I just cannot stand listening to that lady. But she was talking about the two cops that got shot. And she never said or had any sympathy for Breonna Taylor, but had sympathy for the cops. And I don't care, that's wrong. And that's the problem. She said how sad it was for the cops to lose their lives or to be shot at. Excuse me. She said how sad it was for the cops to be shot at, but she did not say how sad it was for the outcome of the Breonna Taylor case. What happened to Breonna Taylor? And another thing about that particular case is the police work these days are very sloppy. I mean, I don't know how many times they went to these houses, claim that there are drugs, and they find no drugs. But the person is supposed to be a known drug dealer, but they don't find no drugs. And why would they go into a house where other people are there? Why can't they wait till the person leave? I mean, because it's evident that they are not doing any type of surveillance on the individual, because if they did, they would know that there were not any drugs in the house. They would know that they're not at the right house. They would know who's all in their house and the possibilities of someone innocent being harmed. They can just wait it out and catch this person somewhere further on the road, down the road. People don't realize the type of people that we are dealing with, we the black people. We are dealing with the most evil people on the planet. And the Bible said this about the evil of the North. And people, well, they know, because that's why you got these people bowing down. They know how evil white people are. But just because they're evil does not mean that they are unbeatable. These people are not unbeatable. They are beatable. But what makes them unbeatable is when they have people assisting them to help them be unbeatable. So we need to find a way to have a stronger voice when we go ask for, I don't even understand what police reform is. What we asking is that the cops that are caught doing wrong be charged. What we're asking is that these prosecutors that suppress evidence be charged and sent to prison. We want the judges that knowingly have all this evidence before them and still refuse to convict these cops and take the law into their own hands and make their own ruling. We want the politicians that are known to be taking these bribes. We want all these people to do time, man, because that is a problem. It's not just a problem with the cops, it's a problem with the people that make laws for these cops to do what they do. They are the problem. Why are they so afraid? Because they want to hold on to all the money that they have stolen. And these cops don't mind the little payouts they get because they get to steal from everybody else. When they go into these homes and make these raids, they go in these houses stealing money, guns, drugs, whatever. We we have to do a better job because we owe a big debt to the people behind us. All those people, man, that were slaughtered and the people that made the sacrifice to live. Because a lot of people that were going into slavery, they made the choice to do the ultimate, kill themselves, rather than to go into slavery. But some people made the sacrifice and went into slavery, hoping that one day one of their ancestors will be the one to break this yoke. And we have to do a better job. We have to do a better job because we owe it to our ancestors to do better. We owe it to our ancestors to have courage. We owe it to our ancestors to regain everything that was stolen and taken from us. You know, this election is coming up. Hey, man, who knows what's going to happen after the elections? I suspect that there's going to be a lot of chaos on whoever wins. But I said that Trump was going to win twice because, hey, man, if they allow him to win, why won't he win again? And that's why I see it. And the way this world is going to get a whole lot worse. There are going to be more, there's room at the bottom. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs and homes and everything else, man, because they are using this pandemic as a way to impoverish people. How many people have lost their jobs and careers and lost their businesses, and now they are losing their homes and they are out in the streets. And with no jobs, how can you recover? Will you ever recover? And if you let these people have it, you will not recover. We will all be some type of slaves working for the government, for crumbs, maybe for somewhere to live and food. May get some kind of little stipend to go buy us little trinkets here and there. But I think that's what's coming down the pipes. They're already talking about how a lot of people are turning to using credit cards because they don't want the dirty money. That's what they're saying. I like cash. I don't like no credit card. I don't want you to keep tabs on me and where I'm going and where I'm spending my money. So I'd rather have cash. But they don't want you to have cash. They are trying to move into a cashless society by saying the money is dirty. It might be contaminated with the coronavirus. So to not contaminate people, we're just going to start using credit cards. While they got all the cash and all the gold and all the diamonds and all the precious metals, while we just got a damn piece of plastic which has no value. What they gonna call it? A legal tender. We need to wise up, people, and we need to take down these damn politicians. And these politicians are the ones that's making these laws for the things that happen today. And with this ruling, with these cops busting in people's houses and shooting people on mistaken identity because some error, if we allow this to happen, who's going to be the next person to get killed and just swept up on the road and say, hey, the laws didn't have any wrongdoing? And right now, it's a black person in Breonna Taylor. But here in Houston, it's a white couple. And those white people down here are making a big thing of it. And I think something's going to happen with that. But when it comes to a black person, oh, it's dragging your feet time. And it's letting the cops off time. And it's going to pay the family off time. But if we don't do anything about this, they're just going to start kicking black people's doors and just shooting them. And just say, man, we had a warrant. I mean, they can fabricate any of that. Just like the cops fabricated the tale about knowing that they're known drug dealers. So they can fabricate this and do the paperwork and have the judge and the DAs and everybody back them up. And that is you just looking. Because you don't have the inside intel like they do. And you don't have the power to stop it. And as long as we're listening to people like Al Sharpton and the rest of these cats to tell us to let's take it to court and let's trust in the system, we are nothing but damn fools for listening to that. Because the system is not designed for us. As I say, every time something happens and we get hip to one law, they come in with another law. This one-ton shit. Not even charging them with shooting Breonna Taylor. But they are charging this person with shooting in the house of a next door neighbor. I mean, they were just shooting, just shooting crazy, and just not shooting at Breonna Taylor's house. You shot somebody's house. That's what they're in trouble for, but not for shooting in Breonna Taylor's house. And like I say, man, the protesting, like I say, I don't know what we got to do. What I know we got to do, like I say, is what black people don't want to say. Black people don't want to say that, hey, man, we got to go to war with white people in order to get our justice. That is what black people are refusing to say. That is what everybody feels. But, like I say, man, if it don't change, if people are still making excuses for these cops, knowing these cops are wrong, what else do you think is going to happen? Maybe this particular generation might be a bunch of wimps and suckers, but eventually they are going to come through a generation that is not. And maybe that's why they're trying to kill off all these black youths, to prevent that from happening, to prevent a nation of tough youngsters. Because right now, all we got is a bunch of LBGTQXYZ youngsters who want to be girls. That's what the men want to be these days, who want just love and just want things to go back to like it used to be. And that means the same. And we want change. The real black people, the real riders, we want change, man. We're tired of the same old, same old. And we are willing to go through the tough times in order to achieve that. But as I say, we got some people out there who are going to resist us so they can live better than us and not lose their little position. Like I say, man, it's just real sad that these people would just rather see America burn down to the ground than to just charge some of these cops. Just tell these cops, hey man, look, if you don't stop it, you're going to prison. If they at least tell them that, maybe it just might stop. But if you want to at least tell them, how will it stop? And as I say, do they really intend for it to stop? Because a lot of these kids they call thugs or whatever, if these people, if these kids get around the right people, man, these are our soldiers. And the ones they're allowing to live, the ones that they feel is no threat, and them are a bunch of punks and wimps. I'm gonna call it like it is. And that's what they want us to be, is a nation full of punks and wimps. And the real men, we just not having that. You're not gonna make me bow down to no LGBT stuff. You're just not gonna make me do it. You're not gonna make me lie down and bow down to white supremacy. I am just not gonna do it. I thank God that He has kept you kind of white people out of my path. Because God knows I'm gonna do what you people would do if somebody ever would come and approach you in the wrong way. I'm gonna handle it like a man, a real man, and not one of these modern day men